I thought I would, as it's snowing, do a wee reading and just show you a wee simple 9 card spread with the Lenormand cards. And I'm going to talk you through them in a wee second, but I thought I would just show you them first. The Lenormand are a good way of having a wee quick reading, and just to see what's happening, what's there, what's round about you. But more kind of oracle fortune telling card rather than where the tarot is concerned, which is a more specific system. So here we have the card in the centre is quite important, but here we have the top row, and the top row very much depicts what's above you, what you kind of don't have much control over. And so this card is the clouds, and it sits on the house of the garden, and it's about moving away from darkness. You'll see, look, the sun is kind of coming this way and the clouds are behind. So this is about coming away from any darkness. It's also about, interestingly enough, retreats, public events and organisations, maybe new opportunities. Then we come to the mountain. The mountain is the place or the space underneath the card, but the card itself, we've got the tower. And the tower brings obstacles and delays, and that kind of looks like a foreign place, so I hope that's got nothing to do with a retreat. But basically it's also about public organisations, especially as it comes above the park card. So as we move on, we've got clover, and it lies on the house of paths. It's luck and happiness and good fortune and good events. It says also lucky in love. And given that the clover is on the path, it's about making decisions, new directions and infinite possibilities, which is quite nice. So it looks like whatever's happening over here is kind of moving out of sight to bring in happier events. As we come down, we have the bear, and it sits on the house of the man. And this is about power, it's about strength and protection. It's also about a protective mother, it's purity, it's a powerful person in business. And interestingly enough, when I did my power animals, one of my power animals was a polar bear. I think they're so majestic, it's so strong, and just, you know, extremely positive. As we come over, we have the park in the house of the woman, and this is almost about, again, party, business, networking, events, retreats and education. And given that the tower is above, it speaks about public organisations, so perhaps between that and education there is something important that's coming, some news or information, which is really good and very positive. Then we have the cross on the house of the lily, and this is about a bit of distress, more so for someone else and for their actions and taking kind of ownership or responsibility. But given that it's on the house of the lily, it's very much about passion, sensuality, seduction. So perhaps there's a wee issue or something that's a wee bit of a concern from where the cross sits for someone else. It's to do with emotions and just making sure everything's in its right place more than anything. So I think that's thoughts around other people and situation, etc. We then come down to the key, the house of the key with the mountain. And the mountain is about challenges, it's asking to slow down. And if it's asking me to slow down, it's going to have a hard job, because it's not my forte. But this sits on the house of the key, and the key brings solutions and answers to issues or anything that's a problem situation. So even if I was to go kind of from that and come down that path, so where we start at the top, the clouds are clearing, the strength of the polar bear and the mountain sitting on the key, it says that if there are any problems or issues, these can be resolved and put straight. Moving forward, we have number 1, which is the Rider, and it sits in the house of the Fish. The Rider's about good news, new cycles and exciting times. And with it sitting on the house of the Fish, or the square of the Fish, whatever we want to put it, it's about prosperity and new ways of working. So that's quite exciting, especially given that if there are issues, they're being resolved to move forward. Then we have the Man in the house of the Anchor, and the Man is about someone or something waiting, and it looks as if he is looking in this direction to the Rider. So there is a connection between these two cards. And the Anchor itself talks about stability and security. So this bottom row is the thing. So the top row is what we can't control, what's kind of passing. The middle row is kind of where we're at and what's happening. And the bottom row is very much about where we are going and the things we are we can control. And on top of that, I've taken another card at the side, which is the Star. And the Star is about good prospects, vision, desire, dreams coming true. And it sits in the house of the Later. So good news coming, good indication there that lots of nice things are happening, and whatever's been in the way is being pushed out of the way. So that's a very short Lenormand spread. They're very different, as I say, to tarot, and it can be a wee bit confusing, but I thought as it's raining, we'll just have a wee look and see what's coming up. So thank you for watching, and if you're interested in one of these wee spreads or a wee reading, you can let me know.